Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello, good evening. Coming to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
And I'm Kasani Balachandra Adhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Series of pincomers on the Binara full moon Poya Day throughout the island. The President participates in the 4th Randoli Perahara of the Mahayangane Asala Festival. A full lunar eclipse tonight. Government's official response regarding the Human Rights Commissioner's report has been handed over. A stock of bombs and ammunition found from a land in Middenia. Projects valued at 170 million rupees vested with the people at the Matale District Hospital. The US President signs an executive order targeting countries that wrongfully detain American citizens.
Well, moving on to the stories in detail, the official response of the government that's regarding the report submitted to the United Nations Human Rights Council by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has been handed over to the Human Rights Council, and according to a communique issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in this regard. The government has rejected calls by the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights for international action on advancing accountability in Sri Lanka, stressing that such external initiatives would only hinder ongoing national efforts and further polarize the population. The government of Sri Lanka does not agree with the conclusions and recommendations in the report with regard to international action, and the government said in its official response to the comprehensive OHCHR report on the country's human rights situation. Reaffirming its stance, the government said it remains committed to building a nation that respects and celebrates diversity without divisions or discrimination based on race, religion, class or caste. It further pledged not to allow a resurgence of racism or extremism in the country. The government's statement added that Sri Lanka moves forward on this path through its domestic processes, and the understanding, encouragement and support of the international community is welcomed and appreciated. Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath left for Switzerland this morning to participate in the 60th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council, which begins in Geneva tomorrow. And during the session, Minister Vijitha Herath is scheduled to deliver a special statement on behalf of the Sri Lankan government at 3:45 p.m. Sri Lanka time. He's also expected to hold bilateral discussions with several senior diplomats in Geneva. A special meeting with UN Human Rights Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, is planned, and providing an opportunity to present the new government's initiatives progress and also the future plans on human rights protection following 1 year in office since the NPP government assumed power. Minister Herath is also accompanied by Diane Mendes, Director General for the Human Rights and Human Rights Division of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs during the session. Well, Binara full moon, which is special due to the starting of the Bikini Sanas and other important incidents in Buddhism, falls today.
Various religious programs were organized in all Buddhist temples throughout the country. Lord Buddha permitted the establishment of Bhikkhuni Sasana after Mahaprajapati Gautami and 500 Bhikkhunis accepted the 8 conditions of Dhamma on a Binara full moon Poya Day. According to the Sasana history, on this day, Lord Buddha preached the Varana Sutra describing the importance of diligence to both Bhikkhus and Bhikkhunis. Devotees in large numbers were seen arriving at major religious places of importance since this morning. Large crowds have flocked at the historic Sri Dalanda Marigav in Kandy. Many devotees were engaged in still programs in the premises of the sacred historic Jayasri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura. Massive crowds have also participated in religious observances at the Ruwanvali Mahasaya. The national television telecasts the Binra Full Moon Poya Day Sadharma Varsha religious programs from Sri Abhay Sumanarama Viharaya in Mandavila throughout the day today. The religious programs included observance of the 8 precepts, Buddha Puja, Dhamma sermons, Dhamma discussions, community welfare and a host of other religious programs.
The 4th Randoli Perahara of the Asala Perahara Festival 2025 of the Sri Sumana Saman Mahadevalaya of the historic Mahayangana Rajamahaviharaya was conducted yesterday. President Anrukumara Disanayake arrived at the Mahayangana sacred site last evening to participate in the Perahara festival. The President, upon arriving at the Mahayangana sacred site and engaging in religious observances, called on the chief incumbent of the Mahayangana Rajamahaviharaya and senior committee member of the Sangha Sabha of the Askiri chapter, the Venerable Urlavatte Sri Dhammarakkhita Thera. The President was engaged in a cordial conversation with the Mahanayaka Thera, including of his well-being, and also the Venerable Dhammarakkhita Thera presented a special souvenir to the President on this occasion. Thereafter, the President placed the casket of sacred relics on the majestic tusker, symbolizing the commencement of the 4th Randoli Perahara of the Asala Perahara festival of the Sri Sumana Saman Mahadevalaya. The President also seen watching the Perahara along with the residents. Chief Indigenous Community Uruvarge Banyalatto, Minister Samantha Vidyaratna, Governor of the Uva Province, Attorney at Law Kapila Jayasekar and other people's representatives also graced this occasion.
A full lunar eclipse will be visible tonight after a gap of many years. According to Professor Chandana Jayaratna, the eclipse, which will commence around 9 p.m, will continue for nearly 82 minutes. He added that another lunar eclipse of this nature will be visible to the naked eye after 3 years. Dean of the Faculty, Physical of Science, University of Colombo, Professor Chandana Jayaratna said that although 85% of the world population will be able to witness the eclipse, only a few countries will be able to see it. The eclipse occurs when the Earth positions itself in between the Sun and the Moon, when the shadow of the Earth falls on the Moon at 11:42 p.m. The lunar eclipse will be fully visible while between 8:58 to 9:57 p.m. It will not be clearly visible to the naked eye. The Moon appeared black in color as it happened to 20-30 years before. Now it will be witnessed in a reddish color due to an environmental pollution. The rays of the Sun, when traveling through dust particles, turn red and the Moon will appear reddish in color. This is also called the blood moon. The lunar eclipse will stay for 1 hour and 22 seconds, where the full eclipse will occur around 12:22 tonight and the partial eclipse will be over by 1:26 a.m. A lunar eclipse of this nature will be visible again in December 2028. The eclipse can be witnessed by the naked eye and equipment to watch is not required. A person has been taken into custody with a stock of Kush, a narcotic worth around 210 million rupees, at the Katnaik International Airport by the Police Narcotics Bureau. The suspect is said to be a resident of Urugodavatta. The stock of narcotics has been recovered abandoned at the arrival terminal of the Katnaik Airport. The official police dog Max, on service attached to the Police Narcotics Bureau, detected the stock of narcotics. Later, the passenger suspected to have carried the baggage was taken into custody by a group of officers of the Police Narcotics Bureau at Grand Pass area. It has been reported that the suspect had packed the stock of narcotics in 19 parcels, hiding in his luggage, and reached by Sri Lankan Airlines flight from Bangkok. Steps were taken to present the suspect along with stock of narcotics at the Nigama Magistrates Court today. Meanwhile, an Indian national was also taken into custody today by the Katnayake Airport Customs along with a stock of Kush narcotics worth around 110 million rupees. The narcotics have been recovered from the baggage of the suspect who arrived in this country from Bangkok via India. According to our correspondent at the airport, the stock of Kush narcotics weighing 10 kilograms and 750 grams were packed in 19 parcels. The airport customs stated that the 31-year-old suspected Indian national has arrived in the island for the first time.
Well, a stock of bombs and also ammunition were also recovered from Midenia land, where chemical ingredients used for the manufacturing of ice narcotics were earlier detected. The items were found in a search operation that was jointly conducted by the Western Province Northern Crime Division officials and also the Special Task Force. The judiciary has ordered to place under detention for 7 days the suspect arrested in connection with the discovery of this chemical ingredients. It has been reported that 5 live grenades, 17 live ammunition of T-56 type, 2 firearms of 12-bore type and an empty ammunition cartridge were found from the land, and it was from the same land in Midenia. Stock of imported for manufacturing ice narcotics were found upon interrogation of organized criminals brought to the island from Indonesia. Well, a stock of suspected chemical substances left in an abandoned land in Valiara Damaniya Gahagodalla Road in Netolpitia, Tangol, were detected by the Tangol police station. The police say the police protection has now been enforced at the location where the ingredients were found, and it has been reported that these chemicals were very similar to those found yesterday during a raid on a property in Talawa, Midenia, which were also believed to be used for ice production. Well, a great Buddhist monk who brought about Renaissance in sculpture and a number of other Sri Lankan cultural items lived in this country in recent times.
The Venerable Thera is none other than Kalasuri Venerable Dr. Mapalagama Viplasara Thera, who was responsible for the revolution in Buddhist sculpture.
Well, on this Binara Full Moon Special Poet Day, it is a feature about the Venerable Thera who brought international recognition to our motherland.
Bamba Sirasin Papisina Sariyut Mahamugalan Pilivelina Ilivet Sarumaha Sangagana Sobana Mundunat Bandanamadin Betty Penina.
These are memories of an arts and sculpture renaissance created by a venerable Buddhist monk of our time. Vijayadasa Ganevatta was born to the parents Signoris Ganevatta and Leelavati Gunasekara of Mapalagama village in Gaul district on 3rd March 1925 as the elder son of the family. Vijayadasa Ganevatta, who excelled in arts from his very childhood, entered the order of Buddhist Mahasangha by the name Mapalagama Viplasara Thera in 1940 under the guidance of Venerable Valane Sattissara Nayaka Thera, Viharadipati of Paramadhamma Chethiya Pirivena in Ratmalana. Later, Venerable Dr. Mapalagama Viplasara Thera, who studied at several Piriven, completed a 3-year course at the then Lanka Kala Ayatanaya or Lanka Arts Institute. The Venerable Thera, who successfully faced the challenges which arose amidst differences between the sacred robe and the artistic creations, took an immense effort in amalgamating the arts and sculpture as well as coconut leaf artistry of the village into the common culture of the country via the National Arts Front established in 1951. Several Buddha statues created by Viplasara Thera, which brings tranquility to the minds of millions, can be cited as a prominent testimony to his artistic talent. Among the well-known art creations of Venerable Viplasara Thera, the Maligavila granite Buddha statue stands apart as a unique creation of art and sculpture.
දිනක් මීට අවුරුදු කීපයකට පෙර උදේ පාන්දරම මට ටෙලිෆෝන් කෝල් එකක් ලැබුණා ජනාධිපතිතුමාගෙන්. මේ කෑලි කෑලි වශයෙන් තියෙන දේ කෙලින් කරලා දුන්නොත් ඒ නැවත ඒ ප්‍රතිරූපය නිර්මාණය කරලා දීමේ ශක්තිය මට තියෙනවා මම කර දෙන්නම් කියලා බලලා ඒ කෑලි කෑලි වලට කැඩිච්ච පිළිමය අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා කලින් තිබුණු ප්‍රතිරූපය වගේම නිර්මාණය කරලා කෙලින් කරලා හයි කරන්න. එය මා කළ විශේෂ කලා කර්මාන්තවල අනුස්මරණීය කටයුත්තක් හැටියට මම නිතර සිහි කරනවා.
Venerable Mapalagama Viplasaratera's recreation of the fractured nose of the Samadhi Buddha statue at Mahameuna Uyan in Anuradhapura without causing any damage to its original historic nature can be described as a monumental act of art. The metal Buddha statue at the Vihara Mahadevi Park in Colombo, the Buddha statue at the Ananda College, Colombo, and the Buddha statue at the President's House are some of other creations of Venerable Mapalagama Viplasaratera. Chief incumbent of the Paramadhamma Chaitya Mahapirivana, Maithape Viplasaratera, observed that his great teacher, Kalasuri Venerable Dr. Mapalagama Viplasarat Mahatera, did not even utter the words no or cannot. And due to this great quality, Venerable Dr. Mapalagama Viplasaratera gained national as well as international recognition. Buddha statues created by Venerable Mapalagama Viplasaratera can be witnessed at a number of Buddhist temples in India, England, US, France, Singapore, Malaysia and Australia. The replica of the Thuparamadaga at Gumiyurupagoda Pagoda in Tokyo, Japan was created according to an architectural plan by the Venerable Thera. Professor Praneeth Abhisundara said that the depiction of compassion, loving kindness, wisdom in the art, sculpture and Buddha statues created by Venerable Thera completely consoles and pacifies the minds of everyone. Venerable Mapalagama Viplasaratera has the distinction of creating the state emblem of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka in 1972. The state emblem of Sri Lanka is an incredible creation of Venerable Thera, depicting the Dharma Chakra, lion, sun and moon, Punkalasa with paddy sprouts. Venerable Thera passed away on the 28th of October in 2000 after rendering an invaluable service to the Buddha Sasana and the nation and the international community at large as well. More local stories coming right after this break.
By Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa today.
A sum of more than 170 million rupees has been spent in this connection. The units declared open today included the renovated outpatient department, emergency treatment unit, common depot and waste management unit. Thereafter, the minister was engaged in an inspection tour of the hospital and looked into the fully reconstructed official quarters of medical and health staff, vehicle park, ward number 18, as well as the several wards which are under reconstruction. Minister Dr. Jayatissa. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that politicians connected to the issues were not arrested and law was not implemented against them. Even cases were not filed against them. The reason being they are being considered as belonging to the same group despite change of government. These people are maintaining their businesses and political connections. The minister also said that when charges were levelled against these groups, politicians during the period of Prime Ministership of Ranil Wickremesinghe and Sajid Premadasa functioning as a minister, challenges were made to prove innocence in the courts. He added that MP Namal Rajapaksa has been quick enough to suspend the membership of an MP of his party when he was charged of connected to an offence. This shows that Namal has indirectly given a message to the people that the investigations have been directed in the correct manner.
Let us return colour, however, to wild elephants. Project was implemented successfully during the past 3 days at Kalawema National Park flooding areas, and it was organised in parallel to the Clean Sri Lanka programme. Well, wild elephants are deprived of the tender grass which is available at many areas around the tanks in the North Central province due to the aqua weed called Japan Jabara and propagation of other invasive plants. Wild elephants have a great liking for tender grass, which is food rich in protein. Nearly 400 wild elephants generally frequent areas around Kalawa, but due to the lack of sufficient food, these wild elephants frequently enter villages in search of food. This has aggravated the elephant-human conflict, and several people lost their lives in the wild elephant attacks during the past few months. Paddy cultivation is a major agricultural activity along with the cultivation of soya corn and also vegetables and fruits in this area, and accordingly a project to remove the aqua weed at the Kalawa Vapitia in Anuradhapura and Kalagama and Baluava grounds was initiated on the 5th of this month. Parliamentarians and a large number of residents of the area joined this occasion, which was conducted under the coordination of the Clean Sri Lanka Secretariat Office and the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority, Department of Wildlife, voluntary organizations and environmentalists. The main objective of this program is to develop the habitats of wild elephants.
Greek scholar Venerable Jnanadassana Thera says a new technology, including artificial intelligence, would be a significant factor in broadening Theravada Buddhism across the globe in different languages. The Thera made these remarks during an exclusive interview with the national television.
Back in ancient India, Buddhism was a spoken doctrine. It wasn't written down at first, right? And then at one point in history it was written down in books. But now we're coming to a digital age where we have everything on the internet. And Subhante, can you tell us a bit about how new technologies are being used to promote Buddhism globally?
Yes, we have used these new technologies, especially regarding Mr. Michael. Before joining Theravada activities, he had established a company of translations. He will translate in many languages, and it is through me that he conceived the idea, why not to translate the Pali Canon, the whole Tipitaka, in different languages. So the technology he already used for many years, he tried to use them for the translation of Pali Canon, but in a few years ago, it is that the AI came into new technology, and we tried to use AI, and it was very successful, because the thing is that you can limit the AI to get very good translations from the Pali Canon. We found that it can make very good translations, and we contact some scholars, very famous scholars. They also were amazed by this good translation, and that is why we conceived the idea that this can be, if it can be done in English, it can be done in Greek, it can be done in either European language. Now we have established a new website which is called Paliverse, and we have uploaded the whole Tipitaka, commentaries, sub-commentaries and other books, Buddhist literature, which is ready to be translated in different languages. So with these softwares, the old softwares we have used for translation and the cooperation with the AI, so they can make a very wonderful work to accelerate the process of translation.
There must be many challenges and obstacles that you must have faced in trying to promote it this way.
Challenges are actually to establish very good glossaries, to be able to guide the AI not to randomly take information from there and there. And these glossaries have to be edited by very good scholars. Now the challenge is, of course, to find proper people. We already started having some people who are very interested, very famous professors, were interested for this project, and by cooperating together with them, we can do a very good job. Of course, now in other languages, which for example Estonian, for example, or Russian, we have to find other people also who are interested, and I think there are people who are come into contact with Buddhism. They know somehow to read the Pali Canon and understand something, to make some corrections there and there. So it is a process for perfection. It is not perfected. In the beginning, every language can be in the perfect shape, but it is a process for years to come. So then ultimately this can be achievable if a lot of effort can be put.
What about the future scope of this project? Like, how could we perhaps bring the Sri Lankan aspect of Theravada Buddhism to the world, the peace culture? that is present here?
We came actually in Sri Lanka because of this, because we know Sri Lanka is the guardian of pristine Theravada Buddhism. There are many universities here, many colleges which promote the knowledge of Buddhism, and Sri Lanka should become the headquarter, to tell like that, to promote Buddhism abroad. Sri Lanka maybe is known in other countries for export of tea, but it should be known as export of Buddhism. It goes from ancient time, and it should be also in the modern times.
Donation of body organs is of great merit, and a person should have a generous heart for this purpose. Well, there are many people among us who donate their body parts, and on this full moon Poe Day, this feature is about such groups who receive a new life through these donations. Well, sacrifice is the best of donations, and not everyone has the mind in order to donate something. A generous and noble mind is essential for this purpose. When Bodhisattva Siddhartha was engaged in perfections, he is said to have donated eyes, heads, flesh and blood, and even the whole life. It is described as Bodhisattva Paramita, or perfections by a Bodhisattva or a future Buddha to be. Dana, or donations, is such a noble act. You can witness a group of great donors who sacrifice their outward beauty in order to see a smile on some of the other faces, to reduce the burden in the mind of some others. Hair is a valuable ornament to any female. Certain females enter the Buddhist order by shaving their heads, while some others donate their hair. One should have a strong mind to perform such an act. They donate their hair in order to decorate the heads of someone else without hair. They can be males, females, or even children. The donors of this hair get immense pleasure when they see the hair donated by them on the head of another person suffering from cancer. This is the Suwa Arana Center under the Indira Cancer Trust at Apeksha Hospital, Maharagama. Here, donation of hair is conducted on the last Wednesday of every month for those who lose their hair due to chemotherapy for cancer, to prepare wigs. A cancer patient leads a life of great physical and mental tension. Although the physical pain can be subdued with medicine, curing mental tension is not an easy task. Any cancer patient knows that they will lose their hair when chemotherapy is administered. This becomes a major fact in the mental agony of the cancer patient. This situation can be changed by providing them with hair similar to natural hair, since it will be a kind of a medicine for them. The healthy people donate their hair with a lot of compassion. Although some persons get an idea to donate for this purpose, everyone is unable to perform this act. A healthy, long hair more than 15 inches of length is required for this purpose. We came across a large number of persons at this place for this great act of donation. The preparation of artificial wigs is also conducted at this center using hair donated by generous persons. This can be described as the only such center in Sri Lanka, and also the only center in the world where a wig is provided free for the patient. Since natural hair is of utmost value, hair of 4 to 5 persons is required to prepare an artificial wig. The price of a wig prepared in this manner is more than 200,000 rupees. But due to donors, the price of the wig is far more less according to this institution. A number of more than 100 wigs prepared in this manner is available for the patients from this center and 7 hospitals in 9 districts. A bald-headed person can regain original appearance by wearing an artificial wig, and patients become extremely happy. In order to get an artificial wig or to donate hair, a person can get in touch by contacting 011 236 3211. That's at the Indira Cancer Trust. It has also been mentioned the provision of hair cutting, preparation and assistance along with the maintenance of the center is being conducted in a voluntary participation. Appreciation of this nation goes to everyone who voluntarily donate their hair with valuable labor, time, wealth and energy as well.
And here's more local news items in brief. Pinning of badges on a group of Navy personnel of the Rapid Action Boat Squadron who had completed the 29th course has taken place at the squadron headquarters in Gangewadiya, Putlam yesterday. Navy Commander Vice Admiral Kanchanaba Nagoda has presided over the ceremony, where 3 officials and 34 naval ratings were felicitated. Minister Engineer Kumar Jayakodi says he is ready to act in a sensitive manner in dealing with problems faced by the people in implementation of development projects. He has made these remarks during an inspection tour in Bana recently to look into people's problems pertaining to the functioning of wind power plants of 50 and 20 megawatt capacities. A Dansala was conducted at the Paramadhamma Chaitya Pirivena in Ratmalana throughout the month of August in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of Kalasuri Venerable Dr. Mapalagama Viplasara Thera. The event was organised through the sponsorship of Venerable Kwok Shumin and Lee Min Khan and the Shakya Muni International Cultural Centre under the patronage of Chief Incumbent of the Paramadhamma Chaitya Pirivena in Ratmalana, Venerable Dr. Maithipe Viplasara Thera. Veteran Kollywood actor Prakash Raj has arrived in Sri Lanka today to sing at an alternate concert named Songs of Resilience, which is to be conducted in parallel to the Niyalini conference scheduled to be held tomorrow. He was welcomed upon arrival by a group including film director Chamida Jayasuriya. The Niyalini conference is to be conducted in Kandy with the participation of scientists and activists and social organizations representing 102 countries. Foreign news on the other side of this break. And in your foreign news tonight, US President Donald Trump signs an executive order targeting countries that wrongfully detain American citizens.
Well, this move would enable US administration to penalize governments or armed groups that use their nationals as bargaining chips. Well, the order allows the U.S. State Department to create a new category, state sponsor of wrongful detention. Countries or entities placed on that list could face sweeping penalties, including sanctions, visa bans, cuts in foreign aid, and restrictions on U.S. travel as well. Officials have indicated that the measure is designed to protect Americans overseas and send a strong warning that hostage diplomacy will carry consequences. The U.S. Secretary of State described the order as an unprecedented action. He said that the classification is modeled after the state sponsor of terrorism list and warned that no nation should want to end up in it. The executive order also covers powerful non-state actors such as armed groups controlling territory, even if they are not recognized governments. Welcome back. Moving on to the world of sport. Well, Sri Lanka wins the bilateral T20 series against Zimbabwe 2-1, and Sri Lanka has secured their second victory in the third final match of the series today as well, and that's by 8 wickets.
Right there. This was the toss not so long ago.
The Sri Lankan team, after winning the toss at the Harare Stadium in Zimbabwe, has decided to field first. Accordingly, the Zimbabwe team batted first and scored 191 runs for the loss of 8 wickets with the allotted 20 overs. The score is recorded as the highest score secured by Zimbabwe team in a T20 tournament. It's also the highest score by Zimbabwe team against Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka batsmen entered the field chasing a victory target of 193 runs. Kusal Mendis scored 30 runs facing 17 deliveries, which included 3 boundaries and a sixer. Pathum Nissanka also scored 33 runs in 20 deliveries. Putting up 100 partnership, Kamil Mishra and Kusal Perera led Sri Lanka to their series victory. Kamil Mishra scored 73 while Kusal Perera scored 46 runs. Player of the match was Kamil, while Dushmantha Chamira was named player of the series. And with that, we wind up tonight's English news on Rupavahini. I'm Kasuni signing off together with Clifford. Good night.
Good night.